Call to order, Town of Prescott Valley regular town council meeting, April 22nd, 2021. Welcome, everyone. By the look of the crowd, it looks like I think we might need more cupcakes. But I'd like to welcome down Chaplain Rusty Thompson for our invocation. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. My name is Rusty Thompson. I'm an International Fellowship of Chaplains chaplain with the Yavapai County chapter. Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, O great and mighty giver of life, we humbly approach you asking for your presence to guide the work this evening. Thank you for those who serve our town of Prescott Valley so conscientiously. Bless our mayor, council members, staff, and presenters as they tender their time and hard work for the betterment of our town. Thank you for our emergency responders who are even now keeping our community safe and ministering to any in need. Thank you for the many talented and professional departments and that provide services to our community and to those who visit us. Bless those who are being recognized this evening for their exceptional service, and grant your peace in this place tonight. We are so very grateful to you, Lord, for our town of Prescott Valley, for our county of Yavapai, for our great state of Arizona, and most of all, for these blessed United States of America. Continue to guide us and hold us. All this we reverently ask. In Jesus' name, amen. Would you stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kinzinger.
Present.
Councilmember Dickinson.
Here.
Councilmember Heberly.
Here.
Councilmember Schumacher.
Present.
Councilmember Packard.
Present.
Vice Mayor Hunt.
Present.
Mayor Palguda.
Present.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving right on, item 5, it's this proclamation time. We're going to start with Kids to Parks Day.
Whereas May 15, 2021 is the 10th Kids to Parks Day, organized and launched by the National Park Trust, held annually on the third Saturday of May. And whereas Kids to Parks Day empowers kids and encourages families to get outdoors and visit America's parks. And whereas it is important to introduce a new generation to our nation's parks. And whereas we should encourage children to lead a more active lifestyle to combat the issues of childhood obesity, diabetes mellitus, hypertension, and hypercholesterolemia. And whereas Kids to Parks Day is open to all children and adults across the country to encourage a large and diverse group of participants. And whereas Kids to Parks Day will broaden children's appreciation for nature and outdoors. And now, therefore, I, Kel Palguda, Mayor of the Town of Prescott Valley, Arizona, do hereby declare May 15, 2021 as Kids to Parks Day and urge the residents of Prescott Valley to make time on this declared day to take the children in their lives to a neighborhood, state, or national park.
Next up is National Water Safety Month.
Yes. Me too. All right. Whereas the citizens of Prescott Valley recognize that swimming and aquatic-related activities relate to good physical and mental health and enhance the quality of life for all people, And whereas the citizens of Prescott Valley understand the essential role that water safety education plays in preventing drowning and recreational water-related injuries. And whereas the citizens of Prescott Valley are aware of the contributions made by the recreational water industry as represented by the organizations involved in the National Water Safety Month Coalition in developing safe swimming facilities, aquatic programs, home pools and spas, and related activities providing healthy places to recreate, learn, and grow, build self-esteem, confidence, and sense of self-worth, which contributes to the quality of life in our community. And whereas the citizens of Prescott Valley recognize the ongoing efforts and commitment to educate the public on pool and spa safety issues and initiatives by the pool, spa, water park, recreation, and parks industries. And whereas the citizens of Prescott Valley understand the vital importance of communicating water safety rules and programs to families and individuals of all ages, whether owners of private pools, users of public swimming facilities, or visitors to natural resources. Therefore, I, Cal Palguda, Mayor of the Town of Prescott Valley, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2021 as National Water Safety Month in Prescott Valley, and I urge all citizens to support and promote the observance.
I just want to say a few words about those two proclamations, especially Kids to Parks Days. And I am a librarian at heart, but recently I've taken over Parks Recreation and Arts and Culture. And I've gone out to all of our parks. I've gone down the slides. I've played on the swings. Literally have. And it wasn't fun for somebody as old as me. But it was. No, it was. But I just want that, these parks are so important to kids. And one thing I want to talk about is we will soon be opening our Bob Edwards splash pad. We're hoping for a ribbon cutting for that May 15th, hopefully around May 15th, but we'll have more information about that. And especially, I want to announce, too, that we will be planning another splash pad in the Antelope Park area, so we're very excited about that. That's a much-needed amenity in our park. So I love this community and all the parks that we have available to our kids, and so please get out there and take advantage of our wonderful parks. Be safe in the water.
All right, next up is Municipal Clerks Week. Mr. Judy.
Denise said there were no big words in this proclamation, so I will do my best. 52nd Professional Municipal Clerks Week, May 2nd through May 8th. Whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. And whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants. And whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. And whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk. Now, therefore, I, Kel Palguda, Mayor of the Town of Prescott Valley, do recognize the week of May 2nd through May 8th, 2021 as Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent.
I want to thank council for this recognition. You know, the municipal clerk is one of the most under-recognized professions all over the state. And typically staffed by humble civil servants that are just too busy keeping everybody organized to stop and explain how we do things. And when we get asked, well, what does a clerk do? We tend to shy away and answer with things like minutes, agendas, work with council, instead of answering truthfully with the impressive list of duties and responsibilities we have to do behind the scenes. And I think that part of the problem is that the clerk nature, it goes against the clerk nature to brag about ourselves. But in this occasion, it is important that the public understands what clerks do and why we're important to the organization. So I want to take this opportunity to also recognize my department, composed of Denise Ryan, our records tech, and Caitlin Tarrant, our deputy town clerk, for all of the hours put into the job, for everything that they do. Everything that they do for the department, for the town, and for all of you, the public. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank this council because, like I said, not all of municipal clerks get the opportunity to be recognized by their council, and this council is awesome. So I really want to thank you for your support in this proclamation. And lastly, we brought cupcakes because cupcakes are a symbol of celebration, and we want all of you to celebrate with us, celebrate the clerk, and not just the town clerk's office, but all the clerks that we have here in the town of Prescott Valley that may not have the title, may not work for the town clerk's office, but I know that they do clerk-related responsibilities. So thank you.
Next up is Student of the Month. Councilwoman Hepperly will be presenting.
The town of Prescott Valley, in collaboration with the Optimist Club of Yavapai County and Bradshaw Mountain High School, are honoring 2 outstanding students for the month of April. These students, because of their school and community engagement, have been nominated by school staff and instructors at Bradshaw Mountain High School. I just want to reiterate again that I personally have nothing to do with choosing these students. When I received their names a couple days ago, though, I was very excited because I have known Sierra Woolley since she was about 5 years old. And I don't know Matthias Martin, but I'm happy that he's here too. They will now read their own biographies.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sierra Woolley. I'm a senior at Bradshaw Mountain High School this year, and while I take AP courses, I'm also the Public Relations Officer for Student Council, meaning I handle all the Bradshaw Mountain High School social media accounts. I create posts and videos for all the events, sporting games, and any other things we have to tell the students about, I create. I am also co-president of the National Honor Society and a link leader for incoming freshmen. In addition, I have been captain of the Lady Bears basketball team for the past 2 years, and I have received several awards for basketball as 2 times Regional Defensive Player of the Year and a double record holder of the amount of steals and blocks in a 4-year varsity career. The entire Lady Bears basketball program has helped me grow into the person I am today and a woman that I am proud to be. I will always cherish and remember my sport experiences at Bradshaw. Outside of school, I work as a lifeguard and a swim lesson instructor at the public pool, Mountain Valley Splash, as well as a social media marketing assistant for Vector Marketing. I love to spend time with my friends and family and scuba dive when I can. I also volunteer throughout the community for organizations such as Arizona Children's Association, Emmanuel Lutheran Church, the Salvation Army, Angel Tree, and Boys and Girls Club. After high school, I plan to attend Western Washington University in Bellingham, and I hope to study marine biology or environmental science and minor in public relations. I'm super excited about the adventures ahead, and I cannot wait to further my education to help make a difference in this world. Lastly, I would like to thank the administration and teachers at Bradshaw Mountain High School for not only giving me this award, but for being there for me and supporting me these past 4 years. You all have made such a positive impact on who I am, and you have helped me grow as a student and overall person. I could not have asked for a better experience at Bradshaw, and I will forever be thankful for my learning experiences and friendships with the teachers and staff. Thank you for believing me and pushing me to be the best version of myself. I will forever be a bear at heart.
Hey, I'm Matthias. I'm also a senior at Bradshaw. I just wanted to start off by saying I appreciate being chosen for this award, not only for the bonus parking spot, but also for the recognition of a Bradshaw student, which demonstrates your support and active involvement in our education. Throughout my 4 years at Bradshaw, I've heavily relied on the encouragement from my parents and from the school to motivate me to do my best. Since freshman year, I've been involved in various clubs such as Interact and DECA, and continue to be involved in clubs such as Mu Alpha Theta and NHS, which I'm the current treasurer of in both. Also, with the availability of dual enrollment and AP classes, I've been able to fill my schedule with classes that have earned me several college credits and boosted my transcript. Overall, my experience at Bradshaw has provided me with a solid academic foundation and guided me towards an achievable post-secondary education. With ASU on the horizon and enough scholarships and financial aid to cover my next 4 years, I plan to graduate with honor and continue to choose excellence. Thank you.
Principal Brett Dahl.
Council, Mayor, we so appreciate the opportunity to do this. I know that you take valuable time to make it a point to do so as well. Our kids are absolutely amazing. I sound like a broken record every opportunity we get to do this, but I don't know if you're aware, but it's been a bit of a challenging year, and it is kids like this, their leadership, their perseverance, their grit. They are absolutely amazing. I'm so proud to get to stand up here shoulder to shoulder with them. Our future is in amazing hands because of students like this. So one more round of applause for them, please.
Hi, I'm Mike Whiting. I'm standing in for our president of the Optimist Club of Yavapai County. I'm the secretary-treasurer. And it's my honor tonight to recognize two students that we just heard about. And we do like your version of who you are. You're doing very well. And we certainly hope that you'll come back to our community after you finish your education. And it's hard to believe the caliber of students we have at Bradshaw Mountain High School. So it's nice that they're here to let everybody know. Every month we have similar students, and we look forward to it. It's something I think is very special for the community and obviously for our students who've achieved a lot. So all I'm going to do tonight is just present some certificates as kind of a memento of the occasion tonight. I have one for Sierra, for Matthias, and I'll just read what it says. The Optimist Club of Yavapai County certify to all that Matthias Martin and Sierra Woolley have been named April Student of the Month. And we do, on behalf of not only the Optimist Club of Yavapai County, but the council and mayor of the town of Prescott Valley, and of course Bradshaw Mountain High School, congratulations for your achievements.
Thank you.
I have one last thing I want to give you. And it's just something that the Optimists live by, and it's a little tile, and it's what we call the Optimist Creed, and there's 10 different things, such as promise yourself to be so strong that there's nothing in you to disturb your peace of mind. So take this with you as a memory of tonight, and hopefully you'll use it in your studies. So once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, item 7, Arts and Culture Commission Service Award presentation to Lindsay Quisenberry. Come on down, Link. Hang on. I know, like, we should have opened this. Oh, I got it.
Lindsay Quisenberry, who is all AKA Link, she was on the Arts and Culture Commission for a short time, but she did a lot of good, and I was able to work with her a short period also, and she was very involved in our arts and culture, which are very, very important to this community. And we want to give her this award of appreciation for all of her time. A lot of our boards and commissions are voluntary, and it's not just maybe an hour here and there. Some of our commissioners put in a lot of time to our community, and we're very, very appreciative of them. And it just happens to be National Volunteer Week, so we want to really thank you, Link, for everything that you've done for our community and continue, and we hope to see you on another board or commission. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, it's been a pleasure to serve alongside all of my fellow commissioners, as well as the volunteers that have dealt with us through all the various events that we work with. And I'm looking forward to this year and the unveiling of a lot of our newest projects. And I hope to see everybody there. Also, thank you, Council, for the recognition. I appreciate you, and you guys have just been a delight to work with. So thank you very much. And I encourage anybody to join your boards and commissions. I know that it seems like a lot of hours, but the good it does is super worth it. So give it a shot.
All right, moving on to item 8, council comments. Start on the end, Councilman Kissinger.
Okay, I got two here tonight, Mayor. The first one is I was involved today with Real Hope Incorporated. We gave out food at West Cap Apartments, which is on right north of here at Northview Viewpoint and North Civic. There is 3 apartment buildings between those 2 streets. We're involved in 2 hours there, giving out food there today. The residents are very appreciative. Most of them, a lot of them do not drive anymore, so they have not been able to go to the food giveaway over at Pruis on Saturdays. So they were very appreciative today. Some of the stuff that wasn't taken, we did leave there on the tables and in the refrigerator for them to come back later for the ones that weren't there. And the second one is there was one of our council members this week that did have a birthday, and she turned 21 this week, and and it's Councilwoman April Heppley, so we should wish her happy birthday here tonight. So happy birthday, April.
Oh, nice. Councilwoman?
Today there was a ribbon cutting for the landings of Prescott Valley, and it's a new home that just opened up, and it was absolutely beautiful. We were able to attend and visit with some of the new residents. I believe some of them were there just as early as even being there for 1 week, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's on Windsong and right over by the hospital in that area, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So if you get a chance to tour the facility for someone you know, or I'm planning on a few weeks maybe changing residences. It was that pretty. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. They made it through COVID this last year and were able to open their doors and officially today, and it was absolutely gorgeous. So just wanted to give them a shout out.
Councilman?
I just lost part of my speaker here. Anyway, just a little heads up with normalcy. I don't know if we're back there yet, but my therapy animals have been called back to the VA hospital to start visiting the veterans there.
Good.
And also the U.S. vets have requested a interview with me and my dogs. I don't know how the dogs are going to handle it, but it's just kind of semi-normalcy's coming back, folks. I'm glad to see it. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here. Just a shout out to residents to let them know that fire season is upon us, and Chief Freitag said yesterday that he's very concerned about wildfires. Some advice that he gave us is keep your butts in your car. So for more information, go to the CAFMA website at cazfire.org or the National Fire Protection Association at nfpa.org. And we recently received some good information from AZ Department of Water Resources. It's a notification of 2019 per capita conservation program compliance. Gallons per capita per day usage in Prescott Valley is 94 gallons as compared to Prescott, which is 107 gallons. The GPCD requirement is actually 157. And it's an annual calculation based on the 2010 census of yearly household additions. And in Prescott Valley, we know we can always do better with regards to conservation. So as summer approaches us, please make sure you check for water leaks. And if you have any questions, call our water department. I too was at the ribbon cutting today, and I just want to mention that they do respite care, so any of you that have relatives that you're caring for in your home and you need to take a little break, they do respite care. It's only $175 a day, which includes food and everything, so it's quite affordable. And it's a 7-day minimum stay, so look them up. And then finally, we are still meeting as the Prescott Valley Illegal Fentanyl Working Group, so please join us if you're interested the second Wednesday of each month at 4 p.m. in the Prescott Valley PD training room. We're fortunate to have Operation Engage in our county. It's a community-based solution to drugs. For more information on what the Drug Enforcement Agency is doing for us, go to operationengage.com. And finally, we're about ready to host the first inaugural family 3-on-3 basketball tournament sponsored by the town, YMCA, Matt Force, and Dignity Health YRMC. It's on May 15th, and it's going to be at Mountain Valley Park, and the age limits are 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and 18 and above. For more information on that, go to prescottymca.org.
Thank you. Councilwoman?
I'm just going to add on that 3-on-3 tournament. If you're thinking to yourself, I don't play basketball, I'm not going to go to that. The whole idea behind the tournament and future events is community engagement. Fentanyl is a problem in our community, and we have to fight it as a community. So come out, watch, be encouraging, enjoy some food and sunshine, and just be a part of the community. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here this evening. I have a few things. A few days ago, we went to a ribbon cutting organized by Supervisor Mary Mallory for Castle Court Park. And apparently this is a combined effort with the Yavapai County and with Prescott Valley. The location of the park is at 3445 North Knights Way in, of course, Prescott Valley. They have a baseball diamond, a dog park, basketball court, a playground, a number of trees, a ramada with picnic tables, grills, and it is a beautiful park. Now all they need are children to start playing there and families to enjoy the facilities. I'd also like to congratulate the Prescott Valley Police. On March 23rd, the department received notice from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety that it had been awarded 2021 Highway Safety Plan funds in the amount of $3,000 to participate in the Buckle Up Arizona Enforcement Campaign. This is part of the National Click It or Ticket campaign. The department was selected to receive funding based on its participation in previous years and ongoing efforts to enforce traffic laws. And the officers will be deployed during peak traffic times. The proposal is to use these funds for proactive off-duty enforcement from May 24th through June 6th. And it will be used to enhance seat belt and child safety seat usage throughout the town. Lastly, we have Yavapai College, the Performing Arts Center, will be launching their outdoor Concerts on the Green series here in Prescott Valley. And the first concert will be held on Sunday, May 9th. And to get more information about this, you can go to the Yavapai College website. Also, it is going to be celebrating Mother's Day on May 9th, and there will be 3 performances, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, item 9, consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately for discussion and possible action. Council, we've all had a chance to review the minutes and our packets. If there's no other questions or any item that wishes to be removed, I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote. The suspense is killing me.
There we go.
Councilmember Packard, how do you vote? Thank you. That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, new business, appointment of Mark Lesson to the Personnel Board. Mark, come on down, and Councilwoman Hepperly will be taking this. Welcome, sir.
I don't have a presentation right now.
The exempt employee alternate position on the Personnel Board came open when Richard Parker resigned effective April 25th, 2021. Mr. Parker was first appointed to this board on July 8th, 1999. So I hope you're ready for a big commitment.
I was in high school back then.
And served 11 consecutive terms. The vacancy was advertised and 3 applications were received. Myself and Mayor Palguda conducted the interviews and are recommending the appointment of Mark Lesson to the Personnel Board exempt employee alternate position for the term now ending April 25th, 2023. And I just want to say the 3 applicants were all equally amazing, and I'm proud to have them all as employees of the town. I'm happy that even the ones that didn't get chosen still get to stay here with us. And it was a great problem to have to try to pick between the three of you, but welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You have a few words, Mark? It's okay. You can clap for that.
Thank you for those around the board. It's my pleasure to enable to take this endeavor. I hope to learn a lot and also serve more of this organization that's been so great to me. So thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. With that being said, can we get a motion?
I motion to appoint Mark Lusan to the Personnel Board to fill the exempt employee alternate position for a term ending April 25th, 2023.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
You know what? Maybe we changed our mind.
That passes unanimously, Mayor. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, you're doing just fine, ma'am. Thank you. Item 10B, amendments to Town Code, Chapter 12, floodplain management. This will be a public hearing. We'll be opening it up right now as a public hearing. Welcome, sir.
Mayor, Council, good evening. Last September, the town underwent a review of its floodplain management program by the Arizona Department of Water Resources. At that time, it identified some areas of the town's floodplain ordinances that needed to be revised in order to align with the current federal and state models. And so we've been working with them over the past several months to make those necessary changes. And so that's what you have before you. Now, having updated floodplain ordinances in place is a requirement for participation in the National Flood Insurance Program, which allows the residents of Prescott Valley to obtain flood insurance and in like kind receive federal funding. And the Arizona Department of Water Resources has the ultimate oversight into ensuring that the communities that have these floodplain management programs in place are complying with the conditions of the NFIP. And so that's what you have before you.
Thank you, sir. At this time, as I mentioned, this is a public hearing for this. So if there's anyone out in the audience who would like to come on up here and comment in reference to this item, you are more than welcome to come up at this time. And with that being said, it doesn't appear as if anyone's interested in speaking. We're going to close the public hearing at this time. And we'll just move on to item 10C, Amendment Town Code, Chapter 12, Floodplain Management. This will be our first reading.
Okay, and I think here I just ask if you have any questions.
We discussed this in depth last week. Council, are there any more questions for Mr. Pine?
Okay.
If not, we'll move on to...
Is there any discussion?
There is no discussion at this time on this.
We need a motion to adopt the resolution and then another motion to do the reading.
We're going to do twice. So, yes, we'll take a first motion to adopt the resolution. Can we get a motion for that, please?
I make a motion to authorize the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2182, declaring the document entitled Chapter 12 Floodplain Management to be a public record.
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. And now this next motion will be for the first reading. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can I have a motion for that, please?
I motion to read ordinance number 889, adopting by reference that certain public record entitled Chapter 12 Floodplain Management, once by title only on 2 separate occasions, then place the same on final passage.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That also passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, Clerk, would you like to please read the ordinance for the first reading?
An ordinance of the mayor and common council of the town of Prescott Valley, a municipal corporation of Arizona, adopting by reference a document entitled Amendments to Chapter 12, Floodplain Management, declared by resolution number 2182 to be a public record, which amends Chapter 12, Floodplain Management of the Town Code, providing that all other chapters, articles, sections, and subsections of the Town Code not herein repealed, replaced, or amended shall remain in full force and effect, providing that if any provision in this ordinance is held invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, the remaining provisions shall not be affected but shall continue in full force and effect, and providing that this ordinance shall be effective 30 days after its passage and approval according to law.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, item 10D, competitive bid SR 69 Frontage Road Pavement Overlay Project.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. This item you have before you is the SR 69 Frontage Road Overlay. It's a 2-inch asphaltic overlay. We did talk about this in a work study last week. I just want to hit a couple of the highlights. And as usual, we like to show our transparency to the public that this particular maintenance treatment is one that adds more structural integrity to existing Prescott Valley roads. You can see the sign that's been put up for the last couple of weeks to call attention to this public out on the frontage road. You can see that we like to identify the funding source was a half-cent maintenance tax that we've instituted here to really enhance the pavement quality throughout Prescott Valley through an investment of $2 million a year. So we like to point that out on all of our projects. You can see we do have listed there the successful low bid contract, asphalt paving supply, local contractor. In addition, some of the emergency contact numbers and our contact information, if any residents have any particular questions, or especially the business owners, is important for this particular frontage road. You can see the picture here. Quite a few businesses in there. In addition to some other businesses could be affected, a block off. So we like to make sure there's plenty of communication on what's going to go on. Here's the project limits you can see between Glacier Hill and Prescott East Highway. I know you talked in work study last week about the section through the county. We're in contact with the county, and they just got done with a maintenance treatment within the last year or two, so they elected not to participate in the overlay, so they feel like their section's in good shape. So as you can see, we do have that little section that we're not going to do, but you can see delineated in red approximately 3,400 feet where this overlay will take place. So this will take place upon a successful award in the coming weeks. I do like to point out, too, we will pass this out Monday, postal mail to all the area businesses we talked about, big concern of staff, and we do get quite a bit of feedback. So this will go out to, I think, about 150, not only residents, but adjacent businesses, in addition to make sure, anytime they have a question, to make sure we don't keep the disruption to a minimum out there on the project. We did receive good bids, as you can notice in your council action, 6 great bids, and the low bidder is Asphalt Paving Supply, as I mentioned, a local Prescott Valley contractor. And in addition to your council action would be award of construction period service to Dave & Associates to manage the construction and make sure it goes as planned. So do like to show some historic pictures. This is Asphalt Paving Supply putting the asphaltic surface on last June for Sunset Lane. So this is the same contractor, and just for the public, those watching, this is what an asphalt overlay looks like with the trucks dumping asphalt and the paving machine adding a couple inches of asphalt to the existing roadway. So this is one of our archive photos, and this is what was done with Sunset Lane just a couple blocks away. So we're very confident Asphalt Paving Supply doing the work. And that's what I have. Can I answer any questions that council may have this evening?
You have any questions for
I have a question. Thank you, Mayor. We're going to make a seamless connection with both sides of the county, right?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
As much as possible. And this road is, because I get a lot of questions about when we do crack seal about how you can see the cracks and they're darker than the other part of the road. This is going to be an all black road. No, you're not going to be able to see the crack seals.
No, to answer that, no. So we do have a particular milling treatment that will match, that you won't be able to see that seam. You won't be able to feel it at both those particular intersections.
But the rest of the road will be all black too.
It will be on an overlay.
With the stripe line, the center lane.
Correct.
Awesome, thank you.
You know, to answer your question about crack seal, that's a maintenance treatment. You might recall from our March 4th work study that we had quite a bit of discussion about that. Those crack seal is the maintenance treatment just prior to a chip seal. So very similarly, that's why when we do a full depth chip seal, which is the next item after Neil's item, we'll talk about, but that's an interim condition for a few months until we do the full width chip seal. In addition to putting what we call a fog seal, it's a asphaltic treatment that'll give that black surface all the way across. So I know in Quellwood, we've done quite a bit of crack seal recently, gotten quite a few phone calls, but that's the maintenance treatment prior to a chip seal that's planned next year. In fact, I have another slide I can show you next that shows you what our maintenance program is and our investment every year.
Thank you, Norm. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to...
I have a question.
Councilwoman?
Sorry. I just have a question with reference to the slurry process that the county will be using in that one section. When speaking of seamless, will there be will you notice the difference between the Yavapai County Road and the Prescott Valley process?
Yes,
on
they've
both
already created
ends of
their...
it?
Yeah, excuse me. So they already have completed their treatment. So I would imagine you can see a difference of color. It's still a roadway. So you'll be able to see their maintenance treatment. Might be a little different color of black, but it'll be for that long section. That's probably, several hundred feet. So it'll be much better maintenance condition than what you see today, which is interesting. You see some of the that existing pavement treatment out there. That's what it looks like now. It'll look much better. Obviously, with a 2-inch overlay, it adds very much better structural integrity. We talked about the yellow stripe that we put back. It will be a much smoother, better condition, especially when you make this type of investment. As we talked about, this investment's about $12 a square yard, whereas at chip seal about $2 a square yard. So this is quite a maintenance investment, but keep in mind, lots more traffic, lots more truck traffic, and you can see it's a good maintenance treatment that staff has chosen for this particular section of road. To answer your question, yes, you might be able to see a little bit of difference of color.
Driving over it and
Shouldn't feel much.
shouldn't feel any difference. Thank you.
So with that, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to award a bid by the lowest bidder, Asphalt Paving and Supply, Inc., and enter into the related construction contract in an amount up to $317,617.17 for the State Route 69 Frontage Road Pavement Overlay Project, and to approve an amendment to the town engineering agreement with Dave and Associates in the amount of $24,000 for related construction period by electronic vote.
I'd like to second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
Thank you, sir. Item 10E, Monkswell, CIP number W471, water pipe purchase. Mr. Wadsworth. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, I am requesting the purchase of water pipe by the town directly, as opposed to how we normally do it, which is hire a contractor first and have them purchase all the material and complete the construction. We're doing that to save several weeks off of the normal process. And this is for the Monkswell that you guys just purchased about a month ago. We are trying to get that well up and running as quickly as we can, and we'd like to at least have it operational in an emergency fashion by July 1 if we can. And so that's why shaving just a couple of weeks off here and there is important to us. And so this would be a purchase of 2,400 approximately linear feet of 12-inch water pipe and about 126 feet of 8-inch water pipe and some fittings. And so we would ask that you do that through it's essentially a cooperative purchase. This was originally bid out by Pine Top Water CFD, and Dana Kempner got that bid. And so we can piggyback on that because the project was publicly bid. We don't have to have done that process ourselves. So we'll be purchasing the pipe, and then here in early May, we'll be coming back to you to actually award the construction of two different projects. One is for the installation of this water line that you would be purchasing. The second one would be for installing a pump in the existing well, and then we would be set up to run that using an emergency generator that we have, while the third phase later in the summer and fall would be to construct the well building, the above ground piping, and all of the permanent facilities. So that's just a little bit of information about how we're planning to proceed. With that, I would answer any questions you might have.
Council, any questions? It's pretty cut and dry. You're just trying to save time, and I totally understand that, considering it takes about 3 months nowadays to get a refrigerator delivered. I'm sure it doesn't hurt to get some pipes delivered a little sooner.
What do you know about refrigerators?
Pun intended, I hope, Mayor.
With that being said, can we get a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of ductile iron water pipe and gasket from the Dana Kempner Company, LLC, for the Monk's Well project, contract PW-21-01, in the amount of $107,926.40 by electronic vote.
I'd like to second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 10F, bid annual chip seal program. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Mayor, Council, let me get pertinent PowerPoint slide ready for this one. Mayor, Council, the item we have before you is our annual chip seal program. This is rather quite large in expenditure. Typically every year, this is our big investment into the final pavement surface that we apply, called the chip seal, and then typically a fog seal, a sealant on top of the chip seal to cover over the gray rock. So what you're looking at here is our maintenance program for this summer 21 season. This is a lot of the maintenance treatment we talked about in our May 4th work study. The heavy maintenance we've talked about has been performed. Some of the localized patching by streets crews, in addition to outsourced contractors, have performed a lot of maintenance on all the roads you see here. This is the continued cycle of making sure we hit all the pavement in a particular cycle and always have a very methodical approach. So this is this year's program. And this was put on the web here in February. I know Mayor, Vice Mayor, you take calls every once in a while from residents, and I appreciate you forwarding to us so we can point to this program that's open and ready for residents to review on where we're making the investment this year. You can see where that investment's being made. I do want to call Council's attention to the legend here. What's important is you can see our investment in our pavement maintenance this year is going to be about $2.9 million. So you can see that's actually 53 lane miles of Prescott Valley streets. So this is a huge program. There's been a lot of work. Different from others, maybe I want to humbly say our streets guys have done great work. All these streets have been very much upgraded, and they do great work. In addition to the contract community, we've spent last year in the neighborhood of $500,000, I know, in the Sunset Lane area, rehabbing a lot of those streets. So that was important after that heavy construction I showed you the picture of the overlay and that 2-year construction project. A lot of those residential streets in the Sunset Lane area had a lot of heavy truck traffic, so there's quite a bit of repair we needed to do. So we've completed that. In addition, they will be done by June 30th. So it's important to show, in addition, rolling back the clock, if you recall, this time last year, we were going to move forward with our $2 million investment. With COVID, we didn't know what was going to happen. And so we cut the program back and only funded about $1.2 million during the chip seal season. So we cut it short, making sure we had plenty of money residual in case we fell upon hard times. Well, a year later, we found out that wasn't the case, thankfully, so revenue's been good. So this year's a little different. We're actually going to do a spring program to spend this year's money in FY 2021. And so you can see the low-volume chip seal that we're going to spend before June 30th is $450,000. That's delineated by the black and yellow striped. And then, of course, next year's program will start after July 1st. Next year's FY 21-22 budget is a full investment of $1.6 million, which shows that $2 million that half-cent maintenance tax brings in for increased maintenance is always very much substantially spent and in a methodical approach to streets that need it. Once again, I'd like to show Council's attention to the overlay that we just talked about. Although the bids came in better than we thought from what the budget amount was, we'll still reinvest that. But you can see the frontage road is actually delineated here. So residents can go to this particular slide on the Public Works webpage, and there's our program for this year and what we intend to do. So that's what the investment's going to be. As I pointed out, we'll award this in 2 notice proceeds, one to spend this year's money before June 30th, and of course the $1.6 million after July 1st. Likewise, we received very good bids this year from contractors. I've praised this council in the past that we get our budgets going. The feedback from contractors are, we're ready to go to spend money July 1st. And they find that very helpful. So we get very good competitive contractor bids. We did take 5 bids, and they were all very competitive. So we know we're getting good value for this particular chip seal operation. I'll go one more slide. So for council and those viewing from home, this is what a chip seal operation looks like. Different from an overlay. You can see the particular oil spread and the aggregate, and then that'll get a final layer of oil on top of the new fresh chip seal. So this is the program we do every year, significant expenditure in the final topping for the life cycle maintenance of roadways. One last thing I'd like to show council's attention to, we talked May 4th about where we've been, the maintenance treatments, and the huge investment we've made since 2016 at $2 million a year. Very excited to show that what you can see here with the colors there, we're basically at about a 6.5-year cycle, which is very good. Of all the heavy maintenance been done, our roadway widths and structural integrity is much better, and we're getting closer to a cycle. So if you look back and when I said we're doing 53 miles, if we're on a 5 or 6 year cycle, that would say you'd have about 275 miles of road. That's how much we have. So the important thing is we invest. Now we've got the big investment behind us, we can start investing more of those maintenance dollars too on maybe some major rehabilitations, which we do have in the proposed budget for next year after July 1st, maybe looking at Glassford Hill Road for some more significant maintenance there. So once again, all that investment's put into place. As you can see, the color-coded map, this is on the website too, to show residents when they're going to get chip sealed and when they can expect to get chip sealed again. But the nice thing is we're getting very close to being caught up, so you can anticipate that 5 or 6 year cycle. Whenever your road was done, you can anticipate that particular horizon to be done for there. With that, I'd be happy to answer questions council may have.
Councilwoman Hepperly.
How was Robert Road chosen as a low volume chip seal?
It received a high volume chip seal in this cycle 6 years ago, and so we feel like that there's enough aggregate retention there that will meld better. In fact, sometimes you do a double chip, you put a larger chip, and then you put a smaller chip there. As staff, we feel like it's a better treatment. As you can see, we're doing all of 4 miles. The science, too, you can see some of the other major arterials maybe weren't picked, like Stone Ridge was considered. Well, we found that Robert Road was in higher need than Stone Ridge Drive, so that's where we made the cut of the particular funding we had. A good question, too, is why are we still doing some what we call high-volume chip seal? It is a little more expensive of a product. As you can see in the legend there, when you see the red and white stripe, actually loose drive. The only magical thing there is when a road starts to get wear. I use the analogies like putting makeup on. Sometimes you need to cake it on a little more. These particular roads that are a little heavier in use and showing a little more wear, we put a little bigger aggregate and a little thicker oil treatment on it. And so it's more expensive. We pay about $3 a square yard for that versus the $2 a square yard for the low volume. So as you can see, that particular road on Loose, that's where we learned a few years ago, we put a low volume chip seal, and it actually, the crack seal starts showing through. So that's really how we go out and make a visual inspection to say, do all the roads look the same? We as pavement managers know the difference sometimes, but we try to do the best we can to make sure that surface that the public sees is, pothole free, but of course doesn't look like it's very worn by not using the right maintenance treatment. In addition, we talked about the overlay earlier this evening. That's why we're putting an overlay on the frontage road. It's showing a lot more wear, a little more rutting due to truck weight. So more expenditure if we need to, but we try to use the right economic treatment depending what the payment is. And that's what staff does out in the field. Good question. So we are doing a little bit, about $200,000. And as I mentioned, a single chip seal on those particular roads. You see there, Yavapai, Scoop Boulevard's a prime example right in front of us here. You can see the cracks will show through a single volume. So we just put a little more makeup on, and it does a pretty good job. So I'm interested to receive your feedback after we get done here at the end of June, what you think, if that was a better treatment, just to cover it up a little more.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Mayor, what about her same question for Lakeshore, since it's highly traveled?
As you can see, the orange there, we went out and evaluated staff. You can see we did heavy maintenance on the edge patching. That's why you see the orange there. But you can see some of those sections of Lakeshore. Staff feels like when we go out and look at it, there's not as much crack seal applied there, and it's not quite as old as the pavement. So we feel like a single volume chip seal. As a matter of fact, even that section going out from Badger out to 89A, that's a pretty good shape. So we go out and pick one or the other, and hopefully if it's kind of in betweener, we use that particular maintenance treatment. But it's a game of money, as I mentioned, because you spend about 50% more for that high volume chip seal. And if it's appropriate, we feel like it's a good treatment.
Sure.
But to your point, Vice Mayor, that treatment was even chosen for Robert Road and Lakeshore. We feel like that's a good economical treatment to keep spreading that money around best we can. I talked about in that last slide, we're getting back to that 5-6 year program, which is really a good industry standard for keep making sure your pavement is maintained to a good degree.
And the reason why we have to wait a year between when we fill the cracks and we have all those spider lines and when we can make it all black again?
Because it's not much more science than we do that in the cold time of the year between October and March, when your pavement, your asphalt pavement is a flexible pavement. It shrinks and contracts. Well, when it's cold, it's going to contract as much as it can, so you get that filled that crack. Because if you do it in the summertime, then that particularly could expand, and then you could actually have because that pavement's going to flex year after year. So what we do the best we can to estimate how much we think the crack seal is going to do, when you order it by the big semi-load. So we try to match that. So we don't do much crack sealing in advance that we're not going to cover up right away. So to the point we're going to do Bradshaw Mountain Drive, we had some crack seal left over, so we got a little head start on next year's program. But we thought there's no reason to leave it in the yard. Let's get some of those cracks filled. The water won't intrude, so it does save your pavement. But until the black spider lines you talk about, they won't be covered up until next year at this time. And very similarly, all these roads you see with the alternating colors of chip seal, they've all had heavy maintenance. But a lot of that heavy maintenance needs to be done during the warm time, as we talk about during the summer months, like chip seals, only between June 1st and September 1st. And then you get a shoulder season on both sides that you can do asphaltic edge patching pretty well. Good example is Lakeshore Drive. We spent about $75,000 in there this spring in the warm time of February, March, which it also helps the contract community too. That's the shoulder season and can put more guys to work more year round. But of course the asphalt can cool faster during those cold winter months, but able to do it. But chip seal, just due to the nature of the economics, it's best done and only can be done during the hot summer months. Good question.
Thank you.
Councilwoman, did you have something?
Yes. Norm, I just want to thank you for all the charts and photographs and the maps. They explain in great detail to all of us here, and I know we all appreciate it. It helps us to understand what the process is and what we have to anticipate over the next 5 years. It shows that our community cares and that we have pride in our community as well, and that when visitors come and our families come to be with us, that they can see this when they're driving their cars down the roads, and we so appreciate that.
Again, I always like to point out the investment we made here. I was at the podium here in 2016 when I talked about you hit a cliff if you don't reinvest in your pavements. Well, we've seen 5 years of significant investment, and you can see the difference of our adjacent ADOT Highway 69. We get that call all the time as staff. I know council does too, about how come their pavements look so much worse than Prescott Valley's. It's the maintenance. And we've made an investment, and I think the residents are supportive of that. So I always like to point out that $2 million a year that we collect, we don't hold it. We put it right back into pavement maintenance, and we choose the treatments. But you can see our service levels are very much raised from what they were back in 2016 when, as we're aware, the gas tax hasn't been raised. But we made a commitment here with our residents and with council support, with that continued support. It's an important thing to fund, which is a good street network for our transportation. And you can see the difference in the quality of our pavements. And I'll be honest with you, the potholes really aren't prevalent as they could be if you weren't maintaining it. They still happen, but not to a great degree at all. But we have a very high service level and good-looking pavement out there and service level.
We don't have any other questions for Mr. Davis. We can entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. Motion to award bid schedule A and bid schedule B for the chip seal program in fiscal year 2021 and 21 to 22 to the apparent low bidder of Cholla Pavement Maintenance Incorporated in the amount of up to $2,099,990.50 by electronic vote.
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, item 11, comments from the public. Consideration and discussion of general, unscheduled comments from the public. Those wishing to address the council need not request permission in advance. Any such remarks shall be addressed to the council as a whole and not to any member thereof. Such remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes unless additional time is granted by the mayor. At the conclusion of the unscheduled comments, individual members of the council may respond to the item addressed at the discretion of the mayor, or they may ask that the town manager to review the matter or ask that the matter be placed on a future agenda. So the way this works, folks, is you've sat patiently and you listen to everyone else talk, and this is now your opportunity to come and speak for 3 minutes. So clerk has a couple people that have filled out forms before. I know you may be new to this process, so if you haven't filled out a form, it's okay. We'll just go like old school, raise your hand at the end, and we'll see if we'll just call you up. So, but we'll just first go off of what we got.
Al Zielinski.
Welcome, sir. That's fine if we just have him handing it out, and your time starts like right now.
Sorry I'm just throwing things out. Mayor Palguda and council members, thanks for the opportunity to speak. My name is Al Zielinski. I'm the vice president with the Prescott Country Club Property Owners Association. The difference between an HOA and a POA is that we also have commercial property under our jurisdiction. For example, the current Maverick pays dues to the POA and is covered by our CC&Rs and other governing documents. I worked for the City of Phoenix for 33 years. We were responsible for the convention and theatrical facilities in all of downtown Phoenix. Plus, we managed several high-rise parking garages. One thing we always did when constructing new facilities, when doing expansions or renovations, we always brought in all the stakeholders and kept them informed. The Prescott Country Club was established in 1975. There are approximately 1,500 residences surrounding a beautiful golf course. Most of the homes are custom or semi-custom, and it's a very unique community. We should have been considered a major stakeholder during the planning of the new Maverick and had the opportunity to provide some input. We heard some talk about the sale of the 10-acre parcel along Highway 69, but it wasn't confirmed that Maverick had purchased the land until we received the escrow documents at the POA office on February 19th. Escrow closed on the 22nd, and I was on the phone with Maverick Corporate on February 23rd. We still didn't know the extent of the impact it would have on the community, as we had not received any construction documents. We continued to pursue trying to get plans, but it wasn't until the end of the day on Friday, April 9th, that a set was delivered to the office. We spent the next week looking them over and took to social media on Friday, April 16th, to inform the residents of the Prescott Country Club what was about to happen. Social media really lit up with comments from many concerned citizens. Our biggest concern with the project design is the traffic. We see several issues with the traffic impact study that was done. Vehicle counts were most likely taken during the COVID-19 pandemic and may be low. And it's not clear in the study about taking into account commercial trucks. It refers to projected vehicle counts. The biggest issue we have in that we see is trucks and vehicles being allowed to enter the Maverick on a right turn off of Highway 69, but will not be allowed to exit onto Highway 69. Instead, commercial trucks and vehicles will be mixing and exiting onto Prescott Country Club Boulevard. This is also the primary entrance and exit for residents of the Country Club and is congested due to the existing Maverick. Our solution to this greatest concern is to allow a right turn exit and acceleration lane directly from the Maverick onto Highway 69. I spoke with the ADOT engineer who said it was possible.
Start wrapping this up, please.
And we're hoping to get some assistance from the mayor, from the council, to assist us in getting ADOT to allow that exit out of the Maverick. We see it'll eliminate 50% of the traffic that's currently going to be dumped onto Prescott Country Club Boulevard. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Clerk?
Peter Burnett.
Welcome, sir.
Not want to beat a dead horse over what he said. I've got the traffic study you probably all saw in order to make a decision to allow Maverick. We're not trying to undo the approval of Maverick. We're trying to undo the traffic pattern. And like Al said, the exit, the curb cut coming in does not allow people to go back out that same way and continue on south. meaning all the traffic has to go into Prescott Country Club Boulevard. They're changing that from one lane in to, from 2 lanes out and 1 lane in to 4 lanes out and 1 lane in. The problem with that is with semis coming in that way from the north, going north instead of the ones going south for the curb cut, is that it has to go across the traffic leaving. So you got 2 lanes going out to Prescott Country Club Boulevard, being confronted by 1 lane coming in. A fire truck, I've talked with the fire department, they will have difficulty getting around and through semis going in that 1 lane. So my suggestion is that should be widened to account for that, not simply detracting from the medians that are there, making them smaller. You're going to need more room than that. And again, to address the curb cut, allowing for southbound traffic out of the Maverick. And continuing on with a high-speed merge lane going beyond where they're planning to stop it and take it clear down to Casa Perez, because there's 5 acres next to the Maverick that'll be developed as commercial. There's 2 acres next to that, which is commercial, would be developed. And of course, you got Casa Perez. It seems logical, the way the town and the population is growing, to account for it now, as opposed to rewriting the book and having to face who knows what because of the heavy traffic that already is in your plans.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Clerk, do you have anyone else?
I do. I do. Heidi Reeves.
Heidi Reeves.
Okay. Joanne Johnson.
Welcome, ma'am.
And please speak into the microphone. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, is this good enough? Council, thank you very much for this opportunity. On behalf of Prescott Country Club and the new Maverick, I would just like to call to your attention, which you probably are very aware, that the entrance to the Prescott Country Club belongs to Prescott Valley. Therefore, the liability for everything that's going to happen for that ingress and egress belongs to Prescott Valley, which could be a serious problem. I would ask you to please consider prevailing upon ADOT to consider ingress and egress from SR 69. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Clerk?
No, that's it.
That's it. So, as I mentioned earlier, if you didn't fill out a form, it's okay. Does someone like to come on up? All right. Sir. You almost missed the cutoff there. That was, I mean, it was seconds.
I think there's many of us here that when they added the 2 pumps recently, that was like an attack on our community, even during COVID. It's said that you're going to have trucks coming in the front, and all you want is a lane going out the other end. I can tell y'all, and first of all, I would like to know if any of y'all have any relatives that live in that area, because they're going to know more than we know. And I can tell you that if they're coming in that property and they're going to take a left into the bigger property, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. I mean, you can draw, if you're looking at plans, you can draw a freight train on there. That doesn't mean you can put one there. And, you know, this is a huge concern for us. I want to know if, and this is probably for Ivan Ledler, is if you can't get a fire truck in there and you can't get emergency vehicle, well, who's sued on that? What happens when a house burns? What happens when somebody dies? This is an attack on our community. It just is. I mean, I think this thing has gotten underway. We just got back from out of town, and this whole thing had busted loose. We had no interest. We had no anything said to any of us about any of this. You showed signs, pictures. I'm sorry, I'm nervous here, but y'all showed a sign of all of this going on, but we didn't have any of that. And we know what's going on there, and we're the ones that live there. And this is a horrible project. It is not going to work for Maverick. It's not going to work for y'all. It's not going to work for the city. And somebody just needs to come forward and say what's really happening here. We want to know how this ever got back in any planning commission ever approved this. What kind of traffic study did anybody do that made any sense? This makes no sense whatsoever. And I just want people to back up here a little bit and just take a breath and look at this whole project for what's happening and what's happening to our community. And the trucks are going to come in there and they're going to be going straight into that property. Now, if they can't turn left into that property, where are they going to go? They're going to be forced to go right up to that stop sign. And if they can't go anywhere, they're going to be going right up to the country club, or they're going to have to take a left, and they're going to be set right into the community. They're from out of town. They don't know where to go. Do you hear what I'm saying?
All right, sir, I appreciate
They don't have anywhere to go from that point. Somebody needs to have thought of this before it gets to this point. And this project continues to go. It's not going to work. It's not going to work for y'all, and it's not going to work for us.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you for coming out. I appreciate everyone that's come out and spoke. So, do we have anyone else? Sir, come on down.
Please state your name for me when you come up. Thank you.
Yes, I apologize for that, clerk.
Yes, Timothy Bartholet. I'm a resident of the Prescott Country Club. The current Maverick station is a struggle for us. We're constantly coming in. People exiting the Maverick are turning left onto PCC Boulevard to go to 69. They assume everybody's going into Maverick. We're going straight into the country club, and they dart out in front of us. We slam on our brakes. So you're going to take Maverick, and you're going to triple the gas pumps for automobiles. You're going to add 6 or 8 RV/commercial pumps. All that egress has to come back out onto Prescott Country Club Boulevard. That will be just completely unacceptable. So as residents, we underscore the need for ADOT to consider egress onto 69 southbound. Because right now it's horrible. I don't know how many of you travel into the country club.
Every day.
Go into the Maverick. It's horrible. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Clerk, is there anyone else? Come on down. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. My name is John Furbend. I'm a resident of the Prescott Country Club as well. And I have seen the plans, and I share the concerns of the rest of the residents. It would appear to me that it's a no-brainer to merely add another exit for the trucks, the cars, to make a right going out onto 69 with an acceleration ramp versus putting all of that on the actual entryway into the country club. You state that, I'm sorry, I don't want to address you directly, but you go in there, some of you go in there every day. You know it's gridlock right now. 7 pumps to 22 pumps for cars and trucks, that's 3 times as many. 3 times as much traffic possibly going in and out of there. It's a disaster waiting to happen. Asking for an additional exit way directly onto 69, I think is very reasonable, and I think it should be considered, and I think it should happen.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on. You just might have to pull you might have to pull the microphone down just a little bit.
My name is Rebecca Vasquez. I'm hearing everyone speak, and this is the first time I've ever been here. So I want to know now, because you've heard our issues, and I live in the Prescott Country Club also, what are you going to do to help us?
Well,
or if you can at all, or we're just here telling you our problems. So, we tell you our concerns, so what do we get from you folks? That's what I want to know.
At this time, ma'am, all it is just your opportunity to vent and communicate to the council in regards to what's on your mind. And if you want to set up an appointment later on and you want to speak to myself or another member of staff, we can arrange that. But at this time, it's just for you to speak and us to listen.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, ma'am. Come on down. You're next, sir. You're on deck.
My name is Sherry Shook, and I also live at the country club. None of us have addressed it, but if you're, like you said, you've been there and exited out, we have one lane that goes left if you're coming out of the country club. That plan shows 2 lanes are going to go left. You've got 18-wheelers that come right down at us, and at times people get confused from the other side, from Fane, and they almost go straight. We almost get into accidents as it is now. And like everyone has said, if we add more pumps, more people coming in and out, it's not going to be a good issue. So hopefully you guys can help us out and do something and get this traffic to go a different direction.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, come on. You're all right.
I'm Roger McEwen. I live in the country club also. After hearing what had happened that was in the paper, my concern was trying to get back out of the new facility onto our road there. The best thing to do would be to have 2 entrance and exits on 69 so that they could pull in off of 69 into the station and pull out. Just my thought on the idea, and I hope they do something in that order.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? All right, are we sure? If that is the case, then we will move on to item 12. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilmember Hunt?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Passes unanimously.
Thank you. Folks, make sure you drive safe and please grab a cupcake on the way out.